This conference will now be recorded.
Hi there. Thanks so much for logging back in with me today to join us for day 4 of our mini training series on how to leverage relationships in order to meet your best prospects. All right, now what we're going to talk about today is joint marketing or cross marketing within the center of influence of your referral partners. Now, I've been talking about this all week, and now it's when we start to pull everything together. We're going to start to pull together those nurturing funnels that you have with your platinum clients, ideally that path to turn your gold into platinum clients, and also ways that you can just better access the center of influence of your referral partners. Now, in the previous version of 9 Steps, we would talk a lot about one-to-one relationships and about how to create those direct introductions. And in some cases, I would have clients that would have amazing results where they would get introduced to a great client as often as every single month, where there was a lunch meeting that resulted in walking away with closed business. And that happened a lot. And I don't want to minimize that. And I don't want to encourage you to go away from that. What I want you to think about, though, is what else can you do and how can you continue to expand your reach beyond that direct influence of your referral partners having a conversation that qualifies and engages and then turns someone into a live prospect and captures their interest. So that's great, and we want to continue doing that. However, recognizing that our environment today means that there are so many touches necessary to change the behavior of the prospect from not working with you to working with you. Remember, that's that 8 to 22 touch funnel that I've been talking about all week long. Well, what we want to do is we want to think about how can we have some of those touches done in advance of that opportunity window. Now, recognize that your prospects, they have to have the means, the money, and the motivation to work with you. And if any one of those 3 pieces is not in place, we want to put them into a funnel where we can nurture and manage those relationships and deepen them over time and add value. Now, recognizing also that the way that sales is shifting is more than 2/3 of the buyer journey is completed before they ever even pick up the phone and talk to you or have that direct one-to-one engagement. Now, what I'm going to encourage you to do is build your brand with your referral partners' clients and also within your own prospect base. And you're going to do that through using a lot of systems that we're going to dig into and talk about tomorrow in the session. But today I want to talk to you about the strategies with leveraging those key partners. So previously we talked about the direct introductions that we're focusing on that first tier or those diamond partners. Now what I'm going to talk to you about today are both nurturing the client relationships as well as engaging those tier 2 and tier 3 relationships so that they're also going to have you top of their mind when an opportunity comes up to introduce you. All right, so first area that I want to dig into, well, we've talked already about the direct introduction, so you're good with that one. You recognize how that works. I know you're all very familiar with it. The second area that I want to talk to you about is that adding value. So one of the questions that we need to always be asking our best clients is, what else do you need me to do for you? Where else are the areas that I can add value? Who do you need to meet that is going to help you get to wherever you want to go in your life or business, that you're basically on that journey? So you always need to be thinking about adding value. The other thing that you have to look at is you always need to be looking around at what are your competitors doing. So let's say, for instance, you're a financial advisor and you've ended up losing 3 deals because a competitor has now added life insurance to what they're offering along with financial planning, or vice versa. Well, then that means that you need to make sure that you have an insurance specialist that you can bring to the table to make sure that you offer that comprehensive solution. And that's a really easy example. You see accounting firms and a lot of the insurance and risk management firms going through consolidation right now just because that's what the market demands. Well, if you don't want to be a part of that consolidation effort and you still want to remain competitive, then you need to make sure that all of those resources that surround that comprehensive solution you bring in, and you bring them in through your referral relationship. So that's the second key area or the second key strategy that we can use to leverage relationships. The other avenue that I want to encourage you to do is pipeline management. So recognizing, again, I'm going back to that 2/3 of the buyer journey takes place before anybody ever picks up the phone and talks to you. Well, knowing that, what you have to recognize is that along that journey, if we want to stand out from the competitors, we need to demonstrate the value and what we truly practice in building relationships. And your best way to do that is through solving problems. So what I encourage you to do is during that initial conversation, make it a point of identifying one significant area that prospect is struggling with, and bring a resource and introduce them to that prospect, and ideally get them engaged. So get them started doing business with someone in your network. If it's not you, and if the timing is not right for you right now, put somebody else in there. And the reason you're going to do that is because then that relationship is going to be, again, adding value. And you're probably getting tired of hearing those two words, adding value, but they are critical to understand in your sales effort. And that needs to be your philosophy with every single relationship that you have. You do that, and you're not going to have a retention issue with your clients, and you are going to be highly referable. So then what you're going to do is your pipeline management strategy is no longer, hey, I want to see how things are coming and if timing's starting to line up for us to work together yet. And then you're sounding like everybody else. But if instead you solve one of their most compelling issues with one of your referral partners, then the conversation shifts. And now we're talking about, tell me about how this is working. Tell me about where you are today versus where you are when we first started. And then what they're going to start talking about, that prospect's going to start letting you in, and the intimacy is going to be much deeper in that relationship, and you're going to have even more opportunity to build value. The other thing is now, instead of it just being you banging your drum, talking about how great you are, you now have a referral partner who's also reinforcing that message. And then ideally, you're going to end up surrounding them with a tribe or community of your relationships that are just continuing to collaborate and offer amazing resources to that wonderful client. And then pretty soon, like I said, it's a matter of minutes, then the prospect reaches up and says, okay, I'm ready now, can we start this week? And it's not then about your rate or about the price or about the overall, they're not thinking about money at that time. Now you've shifted from being a transaction to being part of their transformation. And that's truly where we want to be. Okay, so that's number 3. Now, number 4 that I want to talk to you about with referral partners, and this is one that can be so beneficial with your business, and it's thinking about how to leverage those partners and create campaigns. Well, right now, if you think about your sales effort just as a direct, I'm chasing a deal, you're going to end up always chasing a prospect. What I'm going to encourage you to do is have different funnels of relationships that you're nurturing over time, recognizing that people are going to work with you when you are the right person at the right time for the right reason. Now, all 3 of those rights, there have to be a moment where the stars align for everything to come together for you in order to engage with them. And that is not always right away. So what we think about when we pull together a referral campaign is that is when we engage with a number of different prospects at a given time. And we do that through automating a lot of our process and through using systems. And I'm going to talk to you about that tomorrow. But for today, the other thing that we also do is we have to have an engagement strategy to basically become a part of the influence of our referral partners. In other words, touch all areas of their contact base. Now, and there I go with pollen again. All right, so how we're going to do this is you think about some of the different things that you can offer that are going to mobilize introductions. And when I talk about mobilize, I'm after introductions to multiples, not just one-to-one. that is ready to work with me right now. I want to access all of the platinum relationships and ideally get to the gold relationships of my referral partner as well. So when I talk about campaigns, what we're going to do is we're going to host regular happy hours. We're going to have education events where we provide a lot of great value, great content that's going to help your prospects get from here to here, which is where they're after. And as you're doing this, you also think about the other thought leadership pieces that you can tie in. So think about white papers and blogs and how-to guides and cheat sheets and guidelines and all of these different things that you can offer that just, again, they begin to demonstrate your knowledge and your expertise and your ability to solve solutions. So we're going to have these 4 or 5 different avenues that we're consistently working to engage our referral partners. And if you think about all of the different ways that you can leverage them, we have, even if you just look at offering maybe a twice-a-year happy hour, that you are going to pull one of your best referral partners in. Maybe you're going to pull 3 or 4 of you together. That's where you can really have some fun. We've had some just amazing results from having 3 or 4 people that were all part of our tribe that teamed up and brought 4 to 5 of our best clients to the table just for purposes of introducing. And my apologies, my dog is sounding off in the background. She's getting her back scratched. So we have an audience today when we're putting together our video. All right, so I've given you 4 key areas to think about how you can leverage relationships in order to add value to your client base, work with your pipeline, and gain access to new prospects. And remember, tomorrow we're going to dig into systems and processes in order to support your efforts so we can maximize your time, so that instead of selling one-to-one, now we're going to start selling one-to-many. And that's going to be our objective, is making the most of what you have in your own relationship base. All right, thank you so much for your time today. And remember, to get what you want, you've got to help others get what they want. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.